Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is taken from a double up game with Headwinder. I will note that we're starting to see some of the diamond borders here as we get further up the double up ladder. And in this video, we're going to be looking at an Urgot team composition, reroll Urgot and reroll Tristana. This has been pretty popular here at least in this patch. We've actually been seeing it quite a bit here in double up, and it's pretty effective when you're able to put the pieces together. And this is a game where I was able to do that. One of the reasons why a team composition like this is strong, this is basically a 2-cost reroll build. 2 and 3 cost reroll builds have always been pretty good in double up because you can work together with your teammate and makes it a lot easier to hit the units. And particularly if you're not contested, you're like almost guaranteed to hit the units relatively quickly. And if that's the case, then and something's kind of overtuned, because Urgot's pretty clearly overtuned in this patch. He's definitely stronger than what a 2-cost unit should be. It can be really, really effective, as we will see in this game. All right, now the reason why I thought about playing this is I had an Urgot drop here from the first minion round. So anytime there's a strong build that's based around a unit like that and you get one right off the bat, it makes sense to try and make a play for it. In terms of our portal, we have a Vi portal here, or encounter, I guess is the official title now, which means that we're going to get 2 component anvils. And then look at this, I get another Urgot here as well. So I was like, okay, I already have 2 Urgots and we're not even done the minion rounds yet. I think it would make sense to play into this unit. So the goal for this game is going to be try to get 3-star Urgot, and then we're going to try to get a 3-star Tristana to pair with it. Both of these units are 2-cost units. They both have the Artillerist trait. And then we're going to look to build the rest of the team around those units. So if Urgot's traits are Experiment and Artillerist, we want more Artillerists. I'm actually going to try to play up to 4 Artillerists eventually, and more Experiment units as well. Might as well do our best to play through all of those aspects. Okay, so initial augment here. I don't get anything that particularly works for this build, so I'm just going to take Raining Gold. This is an econ augment. Accelerates your early econ. It obviously doesn't do anything to help you out in terms of board strength, but it's pretty nice in the sense that you can go out to a faster start. Because like I'm going to be able to level 4 immediately, and I'll also be able to sell some of these units on my bench and be able to still get to 10 gold. I also have the component anvils, which is good because the items I have on my bench are not great. I have, what is it, a cloak and a glove. I could make Quicksilver Sash for Urgot, but I wouldn't say it's one of his better items. Urgot is a melee AD carry, so he wants standard melee AD itemization. So things like Bloodthirster, Titan's Resolve, Sterix, Edge of Night, etc. All things that are good on melee units. By the way, this is not what I was looking for here. I was like, I really don't know. I ended up taking a build. I was trying to get a sword, so I'm going to go ahead and take the sword and make a Bloodthirster. I probably should have taken a tier and just made a Hand of Justice, but I didn't really know. I didn't really have a great use for that glove. I could always do Infinity Edge on Urgot as well. That does cause him to do an awful lot of damage with his ability, but the downside is it doesn't make him tankier. And as I said, melee carries, you typically need them to be pretty tanky. All right, Urgot's doing his best, but he's not going to be able to kill the 2-star Vex when he's on 5% health or whatever was the case there. All right, so since we're just starting out and this is an Urgot focused game, let's go ahead and cover what Urgot's ability does. As I said, he is Experiment. I forgot he actually has 3 traits. He's Experiment, Pit Fighter, and Artillerist. I forgot he had Pit Fighter trait as well. I'm not going to be playing deeply into Pit Fighter trait in this game, but I have stuff Draven on the board just so that I can put that in play for Urgot. Okay, his ability is called Corrosive Charge. Fire an explosive charge, deals physical damage to target and physical damage to adjacent enemies. 20% sunder all enemies hit for 6 seconds. So it is a armor shred on his ability. So he hits the target and then splashes damage. Splashes like half damage to the adjacent enemies, and it is an armor shred. So, nothing crazy. It's a pretty straightforward ability, but the numbers are pretty clearly set a little bit too high in this particular patch, which is why people have been playing the Urgot. I actually, I got those 2 Urgots, but I'm kind of missing like everything else that I'd want in this particular build. I have not been able to get Experiment trait in play, and I still have not found a Tristana, but oh, okay. There's the Tristana. So we're definitely going to play the Trist. Play that over the Draven because Pit Fighter is not especially important when you're playing this build. And then I guess did I end up holding the pair of Violets here? I'd probably rather play 1-star Draven than 1-star Violet, but I'd also probably rather play 2-star Violet over 1-star Draven. So I have enough gold I can hold all these. I can't get to the next income breakpoint anyway. So yeah, we'll just sit here. By the way, note that that econ augment that gave me gold has definitely made me a lot wealthier. Like I'm sitting here, I'm holding a bunch of units on my bench. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units on my bench, and I'm still level 420 gold here. Like it really does accelerate your economy. Okay, now here's the downside. Look at this other player here. They're also playing Urgots, and they've taken the augment that gives you a Sterix, and it gives you like the superpowered Sterix, which means typically that people who take that augment are associated with playing Urgots. So I was like, that's not good. Looks like this person's going to be contesting me on Urgot, so that's not great. I'm going to have at least one other player that's also going for this. So I was going to have to make a decision if I wanted to keep going for this or if later on I would want to pivot out of the Urgot. I'm going to have to make that decision later on and figure it out. Okay, so out of the different options here, I'm last pick on the carousel since I won 2 of the first 3 rounds. I wasn't exactly sure. Most of the stuff that I wanted got taken pretty quickly off the carousel here. So I was like, you know what? I want to at least make an item here. I'll take the Ziggs with the tier. I'll make Hand of Justice. Again, I already have a Bloodthirster, which gives Urgot some healing, and he has Pit Fighter trait that's going to give him other innate healing. So like you could say I'm kind of tripling up on the healing here and doing too much of it, but I wanted to make use of this glove, so I was like, all right, I'll go ahead and make the Bloodthirster plus Hand of Justice routine. As I said, these two items kind of do the same thing because they both give some healing, but Hand of Justice has gotten buffed. I think it was at the end of set 12, and it's a more useful item now on carries. Previously, it was kind of like a hybrid carry support item. It was a little unclear, but like now it's clearly a carry item. So it's a little bit more reliable in terms of giving it the healing and the damage amplification. So, like I said, that wasn't really what I wanted off that item carousel, but it's kind of the best I could do. I'm holding the belt because if I can get a sword, I can make a Sterix with it, which is seen as being a really good item on Urgot. I also went ahead and leveled to what is it? Went ahead and leveled to level 5. I did make the 2-star Violet, so I was able to put her in on the board, and I was also able to get Trist in, although I think I did that on the previous round. I was hoping that we might be able to win this round with Headwinder reinforcing, but then their partner came over and reinforced too, so does not look like we're going to be able to win against that. That team is still has not lost a round yet, either of them, so not quite what we want. Um, so we're doing our best, but like they both have high rolled the opening pretty good. And yeah, I mean, I have like a lot of pieces here. It's a little disappointed I haven't seen any Urgots to get the 2-star Urgot, because remember I had 2 of them on the minion rounds, and Headwinder hasn't seen any Urgots either. So the two of us are kind of striking out on the Urgots so far. I think I might have been able to win that last round if I'd had 2-star Urgot, because he is quite strong right now. But nope, we're still just waiting, still just playing the waiting game here and trying to go from there. All right, so I am now up against the this is the partner of the person I played the last round. This is the other person who's sitting there on 100 HP. So we'd really like to win this round if possible, but I don't think my board is as good as what they have. They've got a lot of bruisers. It looks like they're trying to play into the Twitch bruisers setup. They've already made a red buff, which is a good item on Twitch. So I definitely would lose this round. But it does look like Headwinder's coming over here. So together, go mob that Zeri. That poor Zeri stuck in the back lines. I think that together we're going to be able to win this. And that's big because it ends their win streak. Their partner won all of stage 2, but we were able to interrupt one of their win streaks, so that's pretty nice. All right, I have the send back. I'm still not exactly sure what Headwinder wants. I think he's defaulting into a Rebel setup here, just based off what he had. I sent him the 2-star Vex, which was good on stage 2, but is about to fall off a cliff here on stage 3. Vex is not a very good unit in this set. Vex is one of the units that you cut from a Rebel board. If you can get up to 7 Rebels, you just play her as a like a trait bot, but you cut her in favor of better rebels if at all possible. All right, so I get a rod here. Again, the rod is not what I want. The only thing I can really do with a rod is make a rage blade, which is really key for Trist. So I'm hoping I can get a bow at some point in time. And let's see. Oh, and then the bow pops out. So that actually is a pretty good bit of luck there, because I really do have nothing I can do with rods except make Rage Blade, but it's one of Trist's key items. And then I've got double belt, which again, I would normally just slam Warmogs here, but I am trying to see if I can make a Sterix for Urgot. Now, we also had a really significant send here, is Headwinder was able to make a 2-star Nuno. He hit 2-star Nuno super early. And I was like, because he was actually playing Visionaries because he had that early Vex. So he was actually playing through Visionary trait for the time being. And I was like, it would really, really, really help my board if you're able to send that Nunu over to my board. And good guy Headwinder, he said, even though this is going to make my board weaker, I will go ahead and do that because we both knew it would really unlock my board. Because Headwinder, I think he had found one Trist, but he still had not found any Urgots yet. So why is the Nunu so significant for my board here? Well, it kind of did two things. One, it provided frontline, gave me Bruiser trait, well, I guess I was already playing Bruiser trait, but it gave me a much better Bruiser, a 2-star 3 cost. But the other thing it did is it put Experiment trait in play, so I'll talk more about that in a second. Let's do our second augment here. Tower Defense I really like as a first augment, but there's too high of a chance it's just going to give me a completely useless emblem. I didn't really like any of these options, so I'm just going to take the Pyromaniac, which gives me a red buff, and it does even more burn than normal. And I'll put that on Trist, because it's not a bad item on Trist. And now we're going to start looking to reroll because now we're level 6 and it's time to start grabbing some Urgots and Tristanas, hopefully. Oh, I also picked up the Heimer because we were trying to think about would Headwinder continue going into heavy visionaries, but ultimately I think he decided not to do that, and he ends up pivoting in a different direction. And then boom, boom, boom. I decided I would roll a little bit more past the normally you of course roll to 50 because that's the highest income breakpoint you can get. But I was like, I have Trist pair, I have Zyra pair, I have Urgot pair. If I can hit even one of these, my board's gonna spike. So I rolled a little bit past 50, and then I get the God shop. I hit all 3 units in the same shop. So now I can look to slow roll on 50 gold. There's no incentive to roll aggressively. I was able to hit all of my key units and get them all to start. All right, so I mentioned before Nuno. I kind of had this dangling point here about Nuno. I said he was really important, number one, because he gave me some frontline, which I was kind of lacking in. He gave me a 2-star Bruiser frontliner. And then the other thing that he does is he puts Experiment trait in play. And I really haven't done a lot with Experiment in this set so far. By the way, there's another Nuno. I was like, I wasn't planning on going for 3-star Nunu, but it's so early in the game. I'm going to be re-rolling for Urgot on level 6. I might as well pick up these Nunus and see what happens. Experiment, it's an interesting trait. I kind of like the design quite a bit. Basically what it does is it puts these little green hexes on the board, and your experiment units, excuse me, not all your units, your experiment units gain additional benefits when they stand in them, depending on the unit. So for example, here is Urgot's experiment benefit. Let me click on him again. Urgot. I've got the cheat sheet here, and it just closed by accident. Okay, Urgot. His experiment bonus is on combat start and after ability cast, dash to the target, gain a max health shield, and attack speed for 5 seconds. So by putting experiment trait in play, Urgot gets that bonus. When at the start of combat and after every cast, he dashes forward, he gets a shield, and what's the other half of it? He gains a shield and attack speed for the next 5 seconds. Makes him so much stronger. And every experiment unit has a different benefit that they get. It depends on which hex they're standing, or which units you put on those green hexes. So right now I have Nunu and Urgot standing in them. So they are the ones who are getting the benefits from the experiment trait. But anyway, it makes the Urgot much, much, much stronger. All right, I'm actually second pick here on the carousel, and I guess, well, I was a little slow to move here, wasn't I? I think for some reason I thought I was third pick. Why did it take so long to move? Well, in any case, I might have taken the sword to do Sterix, but that got snapped up, I think, before I could have gotten over there. So I'm going to go ahead and take the cloak, and I'm going to go ahead and make an Evan Shroud here. It's not an item I make that often. I usually feel like I have a higher priority for belts in my team composition, but I do need Armor Shred. Again, Urgot's ability is an innate Armor Shred, but I do want to get more in the way of Armor Shred. I'm clearly not going to make a Last Whisper anytime soon. And it allows me to kill one of these belts, and then I still have another belt left over that could be used for Sterix. So I'm reasonably happy with that. By the way, and and it also gives me another Nunu. So now I'm on 6 Nunus. So we have pretty good odds to hit 3-star Nunu. It's just there is that other team out there that's contesting me. Now, the other unit I'm playing through is Tristana, and I really like Trist's design in this set. She's a really fun unit. She has a unique ability whereby when she casts her ultimate or casts her ability, if she kills an enemy with it, she permanently gains attack damage. Her ability is fire a cannonball at the nearest target, deals physical damage. If they die, the cannonball ricochets to the nearest enemy, and when it does, permanently gain attack damage. So she has an infinitely stacking ability, and if you can get her in early, she can potentially start stacking that up. Now she only gains, I think, 1.5% AD every single time, and she does have to kill the unit with it, so it's a little bit awkward. If you're playing through Trist as your main carry, you really need to get her Infinity Edge because that way that way her ability can crit, and it makes it much more likely she can land kills with it. So Trist hasn't really been killing things that much because she's kind of not my core unit on this board. It's really the Urgot who's my main carry. But, she's chipping in quite a bit of extra damage. And the other nice thing she has is she has that souped up red buff. So she is applying the red buff healing debuff to the enemy team. And I'm going to continue slow rolling here. I haven't seen that many Urgots yet, but I do have 4. So we'll just keep looking here. I was a little bit worried because this roll down wasn't great. But I will snap up the Urgot. So 5 Urgots and 6 Nunus. Like, that's not the worst position to be in. Little worried because I am contested by by this one other player, but I think I'm in a better position than them. I'm very rich. That econ augment made me very rich. I'm a little bit out in front of the pace of that other team. And yeah, I just think I'm in pretty solid shape here. So we're just going to be patient, slow roll here, and do our best to try to hit these units. And I still need to get one more item on the Urgot. I will say about the Trist, red buff is not really one of her better items, and that's because Trist only shoots at 1 unit at a time, so she does not really apply the red buff particularly well, unfortunately. So she's not the best user of this item, but clearly she's the only one that has it. Also, it's sad to lose my win streak 1 round before we go to the minion round, but what can I do? That board was unfortunately just a little bit stronger there. Oh, and then I find a Soko here, and I think this was the point at which we decided, you know what, we're going to have a Headwinder's board. He's going to try to pivot into Black Rose Dominators because it was uncontested in this lobby, and I found this Soko, so I'm going to be able to send that over to him. We were trying to find someone who could use these AP items that he had made on Vex initially, and he actually had really good items for Silco, and then I get the good luck to find one right here, so I'll be able to send that next round when the Sen transforms. I also going to get Gangplank 2-star here. GP, and then another Nuno pops out as well. It's like, what the heck? So Headwinder sends me the 2-star Trist. That takes me from 3 up to 6, just like that. And then I'm going to send him the Silco. And then there's another Nuno in my shop. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? So I was never able to get that extra sword to make a Sterix, but I did get the items for a Titan's Resolve, which is, of course, a great item on melee carry. So I'm very happy to go ahead and take that, and then I'm gonna roll, and then oh my god, 3-star Nuno, like what the heck, 3-star Nuno? Okay, so I'm rolling for Tristan, I'm rolling for Trist and Urgot, but like I end up hitting, I end up hitting the 3-star Nuno faster, even though I was like, I was like had to stop and look here for a second. It's like I am re-rolling on level 6, right? Yeah, I am re-rolling on level 6 where the odds are better. I mean, I have 40% odds for 2-cost units, 25% odds for 3-cost units. So the odds are definitely better to hit the 2-cost than the 3-cost. But just for whatever reason, I did get the 2-star Nuno coming over from Headwinder earlier. And like that together with me just finding a billion of them in the store is enough to 3-star the unit. And that's really, really helpful for my board. So I slapped a Redemption on Nuno. And yeah, he's pretty tanky with Bruiser trait and being a 3-star unit. Now it's time for my third augment, and I get a really unique one here. Look at this. The mutation survives. Experiments gain 12% health and grant a special hex. The experiment in the hex is killed on combat start, granting their experiment bonus to the other laboratory hexes. Gain 3 experiment champs. I was like, I've literally never seen this before, but it actually gives me a Nunu and a Zyra and an Urgot. So it actually gives me another Urgot for 6 of them. And it puts this extra hex on the board, right in the middle of the board. And what this is going to do is it's going to kill the Zyra at the start of combat, but it's going to give Zyra's experiment bonus to the other experiment units. So here's her experiment bonus. Ability damage bleeds enemy for a percentage of bonus true damage over 2 seconds. So like I will lose Zyra on the board, which is a little concerning, but like she really is in there just as a trait bot. But by killing her at the start each fight, there she goes. She's going to give Nunu and Urgot a true damage bleed effect whenever they hit enemy units. I was like, wow, that actually sounds really good. If she's going to be able to give the other experiment units that true damage bleed effect. Okay. So yeah, I'll take that. And I've got this like this is such a rare augment. I think Headwinder said as well. He's like, I've never seen that one either. I think you can only see it if you're playing into Experiment, and it hasn't been that popular of a trait so far this set. So anyway, I was just like, okay, we'll try our best to make this work. And no, I don't need more Zyras. It doesn't matter if the Zyra being killed is 1 star or 2 star or 3 star. So I don't get any benefit from 3 starring Zyra, but I do hit more Trist. So okay, 3 star Trist. That's gonna obviously increase all of her stats and make it easier for her to get kills, which will then anytime she gets a kill with her ult, of course, she gets that stacking ability on her ult. She gets permanent AD. I have not been seeing as many of the Urgots though, which is not shocking because Urgots, as I said, is being contested by one of the other players. But pretty much everything else is going as well as I could hope for in this lobby. I'm a little bit concerned that I'm a little bit concerned I'm gonna start to get outscaled because I actually only have 5 units on the board. I only have 5 units on the board since Zyra's getting sacrificed and I'm only level 6. I really need to hit these remaining Urgots. Headwinder does have one more Urgot, so I only need to find 2 more. You can see we're over on his board right now. But like the Trist, Nuno, Urgot, like the 3 of them are just carrying me in these fights. So like that was a level 8 board over there. So so far so good. It seems to be working so far, but obviously I really do need to get the remaining Urgots. I have one will come over from Headwinder, and then we'll go from there. All right, Carousel time. One of the teams is already dead, by the way, so I'm gonna get third pick here. And now I kind of need to get a last item for Nuno, if possible, or another item for Trist. I've got this rod that I can't really do a whole lot with, so I'm gonna have to do what I can. I was like, all right, I guess I'll just grab this bow, I guess, because I don't have any way to use these rods, but I can make a Rage Blade and put it on like Quirky. I'm gonna go into 4 Artillerist, but I just have to hit the remaining Urgots. So, all right, there's a Mundo, which might be good for Headwinder's board because he's playing Black Rose Dominators over there. And I do hit a 7th Urgot. And okay, so I found an Elise, and that's good. I'm going to play the Elise over here. Oh, I sold the Silco because I think Headwinder said that he had managed to hit the 2-star Silco. So this also frees up some money. And now I can look to go ahead and level because Headwinder has 1 Urgot waiting for me on the next send. So now we need to get to level 8 as quickly as possible so I can put in the Corky and put in the Ezreal for 4 Artillerists, which is going to be a big spike for my board. Elise is good to play on this board. If I'm going to play Nuno, I'm playing Bruiser trait, so I can put in Elise. Elise can be a stun bot for me. She'll put Bruiser trait in play. She'll also put Form Swapper trait in play with the Gangplank. Looks like this board is a little bit stronger than what I have. I think 3-star Urgot wins this, but sadly I need at least 1 or 2 more rounds for that champion send to come over from Headwinder, and then I'll be able to have 3-star Urgot. And now it's time for the Anomaly. I'm hoping for a good Urgot one. And I was like, oh, this is actually a really good Urgot one. Unstoppable Force. On takedown, charge the target and stun them. So, okay. And then the Urgot pops up in my shop anyway. So I was like, okay. So now Headwinder doesn't even have to send me that. And he can look to send me something else. So I will now put the Corky on the board. That gets me to 3 Artillerist. And now I just need to get to level 8. He ends up sending me another Elise instead, which is super helpful because I do want to 2-star the Elise. All right, so yeah, the game's coming along nicely. I should be able to get to level 8 probably on the next minion round. Yeah, after the next minion round, I should be able to get there. We'll put this bow on Corky because he actually will roll a scrap item. One of the reasons why Gangplank's a nice unit to play on this board is he actually hits all of his traits. So we've got Scrap Trait together with the Corky, we've got Pit Fighter with the Urgot, and then we have Form Swapper with the Elise. So like he's a really nice trait bot. All 3 of his traits being contributed here. It's a shame I couldn't get something like Bronze for Life for one of my augments because I'm playing a nice amount of traits. I'm actually playing 7 bronze traits right now. I'd like Prismatic Bronze for Life. That would be a pretty amazing amount of stats right now. But anyway, so yeah, now we have 3-star Urgot, and we got a good Anomaly to put on him. And now he's 3-starred. So yeah, he's going to be charging and stunning people every time he gets a kill. Yeah, he's just going to get right up in the faces of these enemy teams, and he's doing a lot of work back there. So we win that round pretty easily, and that was the player that was level 8 win streaking. Now, to be fair, that person was going to level 9, so like obviously they were in econ mode, but still not bad. Oh, one other thing I'll mention is I ended up seeing a ton of Gangplanks in the shops. If I had picked up all these Gangplanks, I might have been able to 3-star him, but I wasn't even thinking about trying to 3-star Gangplank at the time. I probably should have been thinking about it. So I have a LeBlanc here. I was like, Headwinder, do you want LeBlanc for your board? And I think he ultimately said no. Oh, because he was going heavier into, that's right, he went heavier into Dominator. He went the 6 Dominator route instead of higher into the Black Rose side of things. So I think he ended up not wanting that as a send, but is often a good unit to play on that board. Okay, so now we can go ahead and level to level 8. I'll also go ahead and pull this component emblem. I'm really looking for AD items here. I don't quite get that. So instead, I'm like, all right, I'll put you on the board. I really do need a third Nuno item, so we'll go ahead and do Steadfast Heart. This is an excellent item to put on Bruisers. Bruisers get lots of health. Steadfast Heart gives them durability, and then we just make the Rage Blade. It's not a good quirky item, but I mean, who else am I going to put this on? The big thing, though, is now I have 4 Artillerist in play. So 4 Artillerist is a pretty big spike over the 2. Let me go ahead and read the ability description. Artillerist, every 5 attacks, Artillerists launch a rocket that deals 125% attack damage on the target. They also gain attack damage. So every 5 attacks, Artillerist 2 is 10% attack damage. Artillerist 4 is 45% attack damage. So this is a stacking AD trait, and like Urgot gets off quite a few attacks, so he just gets stronger and stronger as these fights go on. Look at him just tanking there. Can he kill this whole enemy team? Probably not, but he's going to take down a decent number of them. Oh, he got CC'd there at the end. Otherwise, I think he might be able to kill that whole enemy team. So yeah, Urgot's really, really strong. And I'm just trying to stack all these benefits to make him even stronger. Let's see. Headwinder, I believe, takes the component Anvil here, if I remember the game correctly. So I was able to get to level 8, and I got in the 4 Artillerists. Now I just need to 2-star my board, because like I have Elise 1-star, Corky 1-star, Ezreal 1-star. It makes more sense for me to try to 2-star my board as opposed to trying to get to level 9. I'd really in particular like to 2-star the Elise and the Corky. My board will get a lot stronger if I can hit those units. Again, there is still that other player who's playing Experiment and is contesting me. So yeah, I'm going to roll a little bit here, trying to hit some of these units. All right, no, jinxed. I mean, that would have been good for a Rebel board, but no, no. Okay, again, see all the GPs. Now, there is a Jace here, which is kind of interesting. If I could get to level 9, and you saw me solo LeBlanc because Headwinder said he didn't need that unit. If I could get to level 9, what I'd actually do, ideally, is I'd take out Gangplank, and I'd replace him with Jace for Form Swapper and Savika for Pit Fighter. That would be like the way to cap out this board really, really high. So instead of having Gangplank kind of do both things, I'd have better units at doing each of them. And I could play Jace for frontline, or I could play him for, could also play him as another carry. He probably would play him for frontline with this setup. But that would cost an awful lot of gold, and I'd also have to get to level 9, so that doesn't seem too realistic that that's going to happen in this game. All right, here's the other half of the double up gift round. So I'm looking at the different things. Now, I could take the other red buff because remember, I get the super red buff, but I was like, I think Giant Slayer is better here. I'm going to put this on Trist. Again, I really would have preferred like Infinity Edge or something like that, but was not in the cards. I would have liked Last Whisper as well, even though I had the Evan Shroud. All right, well, we'll at least hit the 2-star Ez. Now I want Elise pair, Quirky pair. All right, I hit everything except the Quirky, so now I can probably look to go level 9. The Quirky's not that important of a unit. And then I was like, wait, do you need Mundo over there? But I think Headwinder said no, the only unit he really needed was Mordekaiser. Although he was going for Blitzcrank 3-star, so I will grab the extra Blitz here. He's on 6 Blitzcranks at the moment, so he's not that far off Blitz 3 on his heavy Dominator board. All right, this person has, I think they have 3-star Smeech over there. So Smeech is really nasty for a lot of comps if you can 3-star him, because he's basically this set's only assassin. He jumps in the back line and he kills squishy targets. The problem for him is my carry is Urgot, and Urgot's very tanky. So like jumping on Urgot doesn't really do anything. He's not a squishy target, and Smeech actually needs to get kills so he can get resets. He's a reset-based unit. He's not going to do that against Urgot. Urgot's not going to go down anytime soon. So I think my board's just kind of a bad matchup for him. Now it's time to take another item. The thing I want most here is the Guard Breaker, or is that what the item is called? That would actually be pretty useful on Corky. It's one of his better items, and looks like I was able to get it uncontested, so that's nice. Of course, I would like to get one more Corky to get Corky 2-star, but I think that was definitely the best item I could have taken there. And let's see, do I roll for the Corky 2, or do I try to go to level 9? I can't remember what I ended up doing here. I think I can get to level 9 from this position, and then look to just play like a legendary unit or some other unit. There's definitely something I could fit in. By the way, we're lucky that we were both able to two-star Elise because we were both playing Elise on our board. There is some overlap in our team composition. We'll also need to check the other teams just to make sure that nobody's like close to three-starring something. I'm going to slide the Elise over. Elise's job on my team is to stun key targets. She's actually not there to be tanky, so like what I want her to do is jump in the back lines and stun this Heimerdinger. Her Thief's Glove did not give her great items this round. All right, can she survive to get back there? Boom, she got off a big... Wow, she stunned the Heimer and the LeBlanc in the back row. That's a beautiful job to get that off, and I think that actually swings the fight here. So like that's why at least 2 stars is really important. If she was 1 star, she probably would die before she gets her stun off. So that allows Urgot to run around killing things, and we're not quite able to win. I think we would have knocked out that team if we'd been able to win that second half of the round there. Oh well. By the way, there's another Gangplank as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of cruising here. My board feels like it's in a really good position. I guess I should cover what Nunu's ability did. I never actually said what Nunu's ability does. He's not normally one of the key units in this team composition. He's usually just on there as like an experiment trait bot, but for whatever reason, I hit the 3-star Nuno, so he's actually been really crucial for me in this game. All right, ability Zombie Power. For 3 seconds, gain 50 durability. Create a 2-hex cloud of noxious fumes that deals magic damage to enemies within. Afterwards, detonate the cloud and deal magic damage to all enemies within. So that's why Nuno is not really like a great tank. I mean, when his ability goes off, he does gain durability, but like when he doesn't have his ability in play, he doesn't gain shielding, he doesn't gain health, he doesn't gain armor and MR. His ability like deals damage, which is nice, but it's not really what you want from a tank. Usually, you want on tanks, you want you want a tank whose ability causes them to become tankier when they cast, and Nuno absolutely does not do that with his ability. He channels and deals damage, so he's not the greatest tank, but when he's 3-starred, like, he gets a lot better. All right, well, we were able to knock one of the teams out, so it's down to just us and one other team, and look at this, Headwinder has found a Warwick. So he was considering sending me another unit, but I was like, no, send the Warwick. Now if I can get to level 9, I can actually go up to 5 experiment. And if I do that, I get an extra laboratory hex and all of the all of the experiment units gain additional health. And I get a twitch here as well. So I need to level to 9. I can take something out. I think I would probably I can take something out off my board, and then I can put I just have to take one of these units out. I guess it has to be the Gangplank for lack of better options. I'm also going to take this Hand of Justice here, because nothing else here is amazing. I guess Spear of Shojin would be okay on Corki, but I'll go ahead and put this on Corki for right now. I need just a little bit more econ, and then I can get to level 9. But I can take the Gangplank out, and then I can put Warwick and Twitch on the board, and that'll get me up to 5 experiment, and I'll get an additional hex. I can just stuff Warwick on there. Warwick, of course, is the only one of the 6 costs that has a trait. He has experiment trait, so he will be getting the benefit from the laboratory hexes as well, and that'll just make my board even stronger. By the way, this person has a Mel over there, so that's a little bit concerning, but it looks like Urgot is on it. Urgot is just absolutely brutalizing these boards. He's doing that extra true damage that he can. Oh, I never should have sold the Twitch. I definitely need I need another experiment unit. Mundo would probably be better, but I need an experiment unit of some kind. All right, over there to the other board goes Blitzcrank. That actually makes Blitz 3-star for Headwinder's board. So even though I didn't contribute a lot, at least I was able to help him get there. Now I need to get a Twitch. Fortunately, there's another Twitch in my store. But anyway, Twitch goes on the board. Warwick goes onto the board as well. Now I'm going to pop some of these items off Corki. I put the Hand of Justice on Warwick. I really should probably just put the Guard Breaker on him as well. And then Rageblade I don't have a good user for. So I think I put the Guard Breaker on Corki. That really should have just gone on the Warwick instead. So anyway, now I've got Warwick. We've actually activated his experiment bonus as well, which is that he stuns enemies when he gets kills. So he's going to be jumping around in his blood frenzy, hitting people left and right. Urgot is killing things. Nuno is doing his Nuno thing. And we're just like literally annihilating the enemy team. And then I'm going to jump over to Headwinder's board, and we're going to do the same thing to this other enemy team. So it's like, oh my god. Those of you that might have seen the Arcane Netflix show, this felt a little bit like when Warwick like jumped on top of people and just started, annihilating everybody when they had that sequence in the Arcane TV show. So, okay. It's a first place finish, and the Urgot board felt really, really strong. I actually wish I'd gotten to have more time playing around with the Warwick. That would have been really fun. But kudos to Headwinder. His sends were just amazing in this game. 2-star Trist 2-star Nuno, a Warwick, like he completely made my board. And yeah, when you stack all those benefits onto Urgot, that unit gets really, really strong. He was just destroying people, and we just kind of coasted through the second half of the game once we 3-starred him. Man, oh man. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. Urgot going to get nerfed in the next patch, but until then, take care, folks, and I will see you again soon.